first speaker is Michael Hoffman. He came to Columbus Academy in ninth grade. He has a sister, Tara, in ninth grade, and he lives in New Albany.
Oh, yeah!
What is your favorite part of the day? For me, I would say it would be driving. Driving is so much fun for me as I get to relax and just forget about the outside world for just a moment as I'm traveling to my destination. Another plus with being able to drive is being able to listen to my own music in the car. But whenever I go to school, hang out with friends, or just general errands, I always go into my phone and hit shuffle on my playlist. Now, I think it'd be fair to say that my playlist is my pride and joy. As of today, my playlist currently has a total of 531 songs, or 35 hours and 11 minutes of music. And I'm still adding more songs every day. Now, there are many different genres represented within my playlist, and I believe that each one of these genres have stemmed from a certain person or memory that I've experienced throughout my life. And this is what I would like to talk to you about today. I believe that our music taste is influenced by the people around us. Now, looking into my personal life, there's many examples to support my belief. One such of these genres would be hip-hop. During my time at New Albany, I wasn't really the biggest hip-hop fan. I don't know what it was at the time. Maybe my rationale was something like, if it wasn't classic rock, then it was bad. But after making more and more close connections with the people around me, I started to realize that I needed to expand the horizons on the different types of music I listened to. I did notice, however, that most of these people that I interacted with just listened to rap music and nothing else. It may be because it's the current trend of music, or it's the only kind of music they play on the radio station, but I saw that people were very passionate about music, and it pushed me to explore. Nowadays, I have a multitude of different songs by artists such as Childish Gambino and Drum that I can jam to at any time. Going off of that, I have a huge appreciation for Frank Sinatra that I can attribute to my grandpa. He introduced me to a genre that I'd never heard before. And although not many people my age listened to Frankie, I discovered that he was a huge part of my grandfather's generation and the culture at the time. And it's with my grandpa that I'm able to have a personal connection to his kind of music. How could I possibly be giving this speech without mentioning the legendary club that is Vips? When I joined Vips my freshman year, I was introduced to a band called Sabaton. They are the best band in the history of everything, and you can quote me on that. Now, all of Sabaton's songs are about historical events, specifically wars throughout history. And every single one of these songs have a hard rock sound and just flood with energy. Now, I've made many great memories with the people around me and people in Vips, whether they've already graduated or with me here today. And there are people even on this stage with me that I've been able to share my love of music with. Jacob and Lena here are part of the music club, and we've been able to talk about new songs and different genres that I can explore. And Simon here is a musical genius. I've come to learn that he knows how to play a multitude of different instruments at a very proficient level. He also composes his own music, which has been performed by the band. And it's with his demonstrated commitment to music that I've been able to stay motivated to keep teaching myself guitar. I've also created many great memories with these people that I'll never forget. There's one instance during winter break where Simon, Lena, and Nikki Turley and I were blasting songs and just having a great time. Some of these songs consisted of your favorites, such as Wagon Wheel, Sicko Mode, and that one song from Star is Born where Lady Gaga is singing the whole time. It was one of the most fun experiences that I've had in a while. Moving on, there's one person who I've yet to mention who has by far had the biggest impact on my music taste. And that person is my father. When I was growing up, whenever my dad drove me anywhere, he would put on CDs every time. Then he took me to see my first ever concert. He took me to see Bob Seger, and needless to say, I was very young at the time, so I fell asleep. Now, to this date is thankfully the only concert that I've fallen asleep at, but after that, my father took me to a lot of different concerts after that, which I loved. He took me to concerts of some really big names, such as the Rolling Stones, The Who, Tom Petty, AC/DC, twice, and George Thorogood, just to name a few. What's fascinating is the fact that there's very high likelihood that these concerts will be one-in-a-lifetime experiences. That's even true with seeing AC/DC twice. Now, the first time I saw them in concert, my dad and I drove up to Detroit on a Wednesday night to go see them, And as fate would have it, this would be Brian Johnson's last concert, the lead singer. And because he was threatened with potential hearing loss. Now, the second time I saw the band, it was in Columbus. However, since Brian Johnson had left, they needed a replacement. Who better than Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses? Understandably, I was very excited of them coming to Columbus. And I was even more excited to hear that my dad had tickets for the show. Moving to present day, I recently had an amazing opportunity to see Bob Seger once again in concert. Thankfully, this time I didn't fall asleep. Looking back at how my music taste has grown over the years, I used to be very sheltered in the music I listened to. I used to be one of those kids in YouTube comment sections that under literally every music video ever that would type stuff like, "Modern music is awful," or "I was born in the wrong generation." But if it hadn't been for the friends that I've made over the years, I would still be listening to songs made before 1989. And I wouldn't even be here giving this speech if it hadn't been for my dad being the avid music lover he is and being the kind of person to share his happiness with me. Music has given me the ability to feel my emotions in such a new way, and I've been able to better reminisce in memories that remind me of all the great personal connections that I've made throughout my life so far. And I have my dad to thank for that. He introduced me to one of my favorite aspects of this world. So I want all of you guys to think of the person who introduced you to your favorite thing that's near and dear to your heart. It's amazing to think about how there's been one person or multiple people who have introduced us to an activity or an aspect of life that has since been the biggest source of happiness in our lives through which we will carry forever. And it would be really funny if by coincidence it was a certain person's birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad. And as Stevie Nicks would say, I wish you all the love in the world, but most of all, I wish it for myself. Thank you.